Bookish Beauties, happy Wednesday! Today on Top 5 Wednesdays, disappointing eye candy. Have you ever picked up a book because it had the most gorgeous cover? You have really high expectations, really cool premise, you read the story, and it just doesn't live up. It's heartbreaking. Though I guess the cover designer's done a really good job. Anyhow, here are my top 5. In the number 5 position, One Day by David Nichols. The cover of this one's pretty simple. It's just two orange silhouettes sort of looking at each other with the title artily put in there in the middle. The premise sounded really awesome to people kind of re-meet and re-find each other over a span of 20 years, but the book was just not very good. I ended up giving it only 2 stars. I did watch the movie, and the movie just made the whole thing worse. 4! Cleopatra, A Life by Stacy Schiff. This is not really the type of book I normally read. I like memoirs, but biographies can get really dull and boring for me. Sometimes they're interesting. The Steve Jobs one was really cool, but in this case, Cleopatra is just not somebody who I really had this deep burning desire to learn more about. A friend of mine recommended this book. She absolutely loved this book. I guess I just expected there to be more of a story, but I found it really dry and kind of boring. I'm sorry, Laura. I gave it only 1 star, but the cover, if you've seen, is gorgeous. It's really well done. It's got this sort of hint of mystique as she's turning away. No, I won't look at you. Yeah, but that book just didn't live up to it at all. 3. The Sisters Brothers by Patrick DeWitt. This is one of those books that won a whole bunch of awards. I think like 2 or 3 people recommended that I read it, so I did. I almost wonder if maybe they weren't talking about a different book or if I got the title mixed up, because I really did not find much to enjoy in this book at all. It was another 1 star for me, and you know, I really don't give those out very often. I have to really dislike a book to go with 1 star. The cover, however, is really cool. It's a simple, just red, black, and white design. You've got the 2 main characters on there. There is subtly this skull thing happening in the background with the moon. They've got guns, but it's really not obvious right away that they're guns. It's just graphically a really great cover. Unfortunately, the story, not so great. Number 2, Turned by Morgan Rice. This is probably a book you haven't heard of. I read this book years and years ago, back when I was first getting into ebooks, so that's how long it's been. I was pretty recent off the trails of Twilight, and I think maybe just about to discover the Vampire Diaries, so not that my vampire love is really faded, but this was at a really intense time where I just kind of wanted to read everything vampire that there was. I came across this book, the cover was gorgeous. It's sort of classic fangy vampire, but not in this overly done way. There was no like dripping blood, which you see all the time, and it was just sort of in this like evocative pose. I don't know. It was one of those like free or maybe 99-cent books that I picked up because I had a bunch of 5-star ratings, and this was the first time that I ever experienced a self-published book where I read it and thought, did she pay for these reviews? Because I gave it a 1 star. It was pretty poorly written. Unfortunately, it sort of set the stage for self-published books for me, and I've been really hesitant to go back, which I know is a bad thing. I know that there are good self-published books out there, but my experience has really not been very good. But she had a great cover, which self-published books a lot of times don't, so I guess there's that. And number 1. Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McGuire. I know that there are some people that love this book. One of my booktube friends does, and I'm so sorry, but I did not like this book, like, at all. I just thought the writing was really poor, the plot was kind of meh, the characters were annoying, there really was nothing great about this book except the cover! It's got this really gorgeous cover, it's the butterfly inside of a jar, and it's really well done. Very pretty, one of my favorite covers, I think. But it was definitely, by far, the biggest disappointment. I had such high hopes for this book, and a lot of people genuinely like it. It just didn't do it for me. The cover does, but not the book. So those are my top 5 most disappointing eye candy situations. I don't know what's worse, a good cover with a bad book or a really good book with a bad cover. Tell me some of yours in the comments below. Thanks for watching!